All right. Welcome to the show. It is Ringside Report. I am Dave. AJ is here. Hollywood AJ, the man, the legend.
Rocking it.
Freddie Garcia, not here. Missing in action. Fred is on vacation. He's gone fishing.
He always says that, but he never brings back any fish. That's what I don't understand.
Fred has gone fishing. He's on vacation.
That's what he tells his girlfriend.
Fred is not with us here. His girlfriend is with him, AJ. Don't spread any rumors. Fred is not here with us tonight, but he will be back when we're back from vacation in a couple weeks' time because we're taking a little bit of a hiatus. We've got a lot of MMA to get to here over the next hour with you. UFC 240 went down this past Saturday. Colby Covington and Robbie Lawler will be fighting each other this coming Saturday. And
it's an early show, man. Let's not forget.
A lot of exciting stuff happening here, AJ. A lot of big fights coming up.
I mean,
on Saturday night, right?
It's huge. I mean, Saturday at where?
I'll be right back.
No problem. Dave, come back. Dave's gone on vacation. So just to remind everyone, tomorrow, Saturday's fight, which is on Saturday.
Robbie Lawler, Covington, big fight in the welterweight division,
fight,
right?
ESPN 5. The show is it starts at 1 p.m. with the prelims, and then the main card starts at 3. So to let everyone know, it starts at 3 in the afternoon. So it's one of those fights again where everybody's going to be wanting to watch it, and they'll be like, what the heck is going on? They'll be going at 8, 10 o'clock at the bars, and it's been over for about 7 hours. So if you want to get your bets in, try to get them in on Friday or Saturday morning. But don't forget, it's 3 p.m. Eastern Time, ESPN 5. It's a great card.
Whoa, why?
Man, they've done it before.
Why?
Which is great, because I'm going to be at a barbecue. I'm going to be chilling with a hot dog.
This is in Newark, New Jersey.
New Jerseyans like to start early. What do you expect?
But the main card starts at 3 p.m.
Yep, that's right. You heard it. You heard it. I even put it on our Instagram because I know people are going to be complaining.
Is there something else on Saturday night as far as ESPN? Like,
I don't know. Dancing with the Stars? I have no idea. There's nothing bigger than Covington and and Lawler fight. I mean, you've got Trump there. You've got all kinds of stuff going on. What's bigger than that?
I have no idea.
Nothing.
I'm trying to figure out why this thing is so early.
You know what, Dave?
I'm confused as to why.
It's a good thing you heard it here.
They're putting this thing on at 3 p.m. It is a good thing, AJ. Look, I wasn't even aware. I thought it was a normal 8 or 9 o'clock start Saturday night.
And I'm sure a lot of people would think that as well. So that's why on our feeds we put everything that start time is at 3 p.m. Let's hope we didn't screw up, but it's at 3 p.m.
No, that's official. I'm checking it out. It is official.
Look, in the afternoon, it's not a bad start when you think about it, Dave. You could be at a barbecue like I'm going to be at. I'm going to be sitting back, having a couple of hot dogs, maybe a beer or two. That's about it because I'm in training mode. But I'll be able to watch the fights in the afternoon. And at night, I'm going to chill, man. No stress.
Yeah,
but the only people that are going to lose
anything.
are the bars. That's the only bad thing about it.
I don't understand why. I guess it's like a summer thing. I don't really get it. I'm sure there's a reason behind it for the UFC or for ESPN. I'm trying to figure out why exactly it is so early, but I don't know. But
I'm not sure. What's
so
happening in
3
New Jersey?
p.m. main card starts on Saturday afternoon, and Kobe Covington, Robbie Lawler will be the main event. Clay Guida, Jim Miller in the co-main event of this thing.
Replacing Volkan.
Volkan.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the actual fight. It was supposed to be Volkan against Latifi.
Right.
That went down, and then Clay Guida comes in, and I think that's going to be an awesome fight. I think a much better fight than Volkan and Latifi.
I don't know about that. I think Volkan and Latifi are two guys that are still relevant at 205 pounds, whereas Jim Miller and Clay Guida, they're veterans. They're well-known guys in the sport.
But they're going to light it up for an afternoon card. I think it's perfect.
They'll have a good fight, and Jim Miller's from New Jersey, so it makes sense.
That's true.
They're not in their prime anymore.
The Jersey boys.
Right. So we're going to preview that fight, and we'll talk about Kobe Covington and everything going on with him. There's a lot of controversy around Covington. There's talk that the President of the United States might be going to the fights on Saturday afternoon.
You're absolutely right. I mean,
Donald Trump, by the way, is the President of the United States.
Donald J. Trump to you, Dave.
I think everybody knows who the president is.
What's the J
is,
stand
right?
for? Joints? J.
John Jones.
John Jones. Donald John Jones Trump.
Donald John Jones Trump.
Always in trouble.
Yeah.
Hashtag. I was gonna say
we're not
strippers.
We're not here to talk politics on the show.
Cocaine.
But according to Kobe Covington, Donald Trump's sons, Eric and Donald Trump Jr., will be on ringside, like in attendance.
Not at our show
on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
No, they're not welcome on my show. I don't really want them on. Well, maybe they'd be interesting guests.
Look,
but
we wanted to get OJ at one point. I mean, what's the big difference?
I didn't want OJ on the show. OJ's not welcome on Ringside Report either.
Come on, we need him on.
Squeeze that juice.
Squeeze that juice, man. I want to ask him some Yeah, I like to ask him a few questions. I know he listens because he has nothing else to do. He was in prison. Well, he's out now.
I don't think he listens, and I'll tell you what, OJ, if you do listen, I think you're a bad guy. If you're watching this show on YouTube, OJ, I'm going to look directly at you. I think you're a bad dude, OJ.
But subscribe. That's the most important thing.
Subscribe to the channel at youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. But if you're OJ, I will accept your subscription begrudgingly. All right?
Listen, man, that's cool. That's cool, Dave.
You can subscribe. It's a free country. You live in a free country. You're a free man somehow.
Well, he's free now.
I don't have a lot of love for OJ, and I don't know if I'd want him as a guest on Ringside Report. I also don't know if I'd want Donald Trump Jr. or Eric Trump on the show, mostly because their faces I don't like their faces, mostly.
That's pretty bad, Dave.
What?
I mean, some people don't like Cyborg's face. I mean, hey.
Well, those people
she's
are
not
rude.
going to be like a cover girl, but
let's talk about Cyborg for a second.
What?
And we
I thought you were going
also
to get back to Trump there.
No, we'll get to Trump later.
Oh.
We'll talk about Eric Trump and how
he
girlfriend. Looks like Beavis from Beavis and Butthead.
One of the best shows
Those
ever,
two guys look like Beavis and Butthead. Anyways, so Chris Cyborg we have to talk about, and there's John Jones news. Okay, we talked about the John Jones strip club incident last week on the show.
Rocking it hard, Jones.
We also talked about
aliens.
Did we talk about aliens?
Man, the whole show was about aliens.
I'm not talking about our UFC 240 watch along.
Oh,
I'm talking about Ringside Report last week, right?
Yeah.
But if you are listening to this on the radio or you are listening to the podcast of this show
or live,
you missed an exclusive YouTube-only show on Saturday night, UFC 240. It was a party. It was a watch-along. We watched the entire pay-per-view.
It was awesome.
With you live on YouTube. I was here. AJ was here. My brother was here. Fred was not here, already on his fishing trip.
Yep.
But it's something we started doing, these UFC 240 watch-alongs.
We got a lot of views on that, I'll tell you.
A lot of views.
It's still growing.
A lot of fun. It is still growing. Our UFC 239 watch-along.
It was our date night.
It's still growing,
remember that. It's our date night. We're going to do it next sometime in September, I believe.
Yeah, because
you're too busy taking a vacation while AJ will have to do something.
So that's the word for Ringside Report. Ringside Report is going on vacation for the next couple of weeks.
Actually, I did start on Monday. I don't want to lie, but
you started your vacation early.
I did. I was up north. That's why I'm spotting a beard here.
And a bit of a tan.
Not much of a tan, but
so
it was
Fred
okay.
is already on vacation. AJ is already on vacation. I'm about to start my vacation. So this is summer vacation season for Ringside Report. So just so we're clear, next week we won't be on. The week after we won't be on. We will be back on YouTube Thursday, August 22nd, live at 8 p.m., and then back on TSN 690 Friday, August 23rd. So we will be back in action the week of the 22nd, 23rd, and then Wrestling Uncensored on the 24th. So everything will be back from the Ringside Report Network in 2 weeks.
Man,
so
what are they going to do? It's crazy.
So we won't be doing
do?
UFC 241, Cormier versus Stipe on August 17th. I'll be missing that, unfortunately. I'm going to Nova Scotia, right? And I have, no internet.
Best fish and chips, man.
No internet, no TV. Great fish and chips, but I have no way to watch anything. So I'm going to miss, SummerSlam. I'm going to miss
I'll write you a letter. I don't know.
UFC 241. I mean, I'll have Twitter, so I'll get little updates here and there, but I'm not going to have steady internet to be watching stuff. So,
but try to find it, man. Don't fool around. You can't. You're the host of the show.
To find
Ringside
some
Report,
sort of,
one of the best MMA shows in the world.
I'll try to
second best.
I'll try to find a source for different
Joe
things.
Rogan.
Why do you say second best? Stop saying second best.
Well,
We're
we
number
are,
one.
man. If you have to put Joe, it's like saying Joe's in front of us, and you'd be like, "Hey, Rogan, what's up, man?" And then I'll be like, "Hey, Joe." We are the second best.
Why do we have to put Joe Rogan in front of us, okay? Joe Rogan...
He should have us on his show.
He needs to issue a formal apology to Cyborg, to Chris
Rogan?
Cyborg. Cyborg says...
Dana White, I thought so.
No, also Rogan. Cyborg says she wants an apology from Joe Rogan and Chris Cyborg. Joe Rogan and Dana White, sorry. Cyborg wants an apology from herself. So Chris Cyborg beats... that lady last week, Felicia Spencer.
Yeah, but
right?
I think maybe she has some concussion issues.
Who?
Cyborg, because you think Dana White or Joe Rogan is going to apologize to her for what? First of all, I think the gash on her head that she's been posting on Instagram, which is
I'll tell you for what.
Listen, go on Instagram, look Cyborg, and you'll see that gash. It almost goes to her skull. I think Felicia Spencer really did a great job in fighting Cyborg.
So we weren't listening to the commentary. We saw all 3 rounds for Cyborg, right? We thought Cyborg won that fight. You don't think Cyborg won?
No, Cyborg won the fight.
Go back and watch our YouTube show that we did on Saturday. You were definitely with me in scoring all 3 rounds for Cyborg.
Yeah, except for the second where I was like, she's slowing down. I said it was close the second.
Okay.
Cyborg won.
But we both agreed that Cyborg won the fight, UFC 240. Right?
Hands down, Sam.
But apparently, on the commentary, Joe Rogan was very much saying that Felicia Spencer was doing well, and that Cyborg was slowing down and looked tired.
But that's what I said.
And he was kind of siding with Felicia Spencer, even though if you're watching it, obviously, Cyborg was winning the fight. Now, I'm not going to pass judgment on Joe Rogan's commentary because I didn't hear it. We were watching the fight without sound on because we were on YouTube at the same time. So I don't know what Joe Rogan was seeing. I don't know what Joe Rogan was saying. What I saw was Cyborg dominating for a 3-round victory.
Well, dominating, I mean...
She won 30-27 on all 3 judges' scorecards. That's 3 rounds to 0. That's all 3 judges scoring it 3 rounds to 0.
Hold le cheval there, Dave, because I'll tell you one thing. For sure, for the people that don't understand, that means hold your horses in French.
I understand.
Okay, but the thing is this, Dave. I kind of agree with Rogan. Felicia came to fight. And it was really a fight where she could have taken it. There were points where like Cyborg looked like
to fight. She's a pro fighter.
No, but most people don't get into that pocket and exchange with Cyborg. She did. She was a tough competitor. You know, maybe experience wasn't on her side, but I'll tell you one thing. I kind of agree with Rogan. There were many times when Cyborg was like looking a little bit like, you know, like some people coming out of a 3 a.m. bar on Crescent Street.
You're saying she looked wobbly because she got hit with elbows in her head?
Man, did you see the gash?
Yeah,
it was a nasty one.
Look, she got hit pretty hard, but I still think she won every round.
She won every round, but I'm on Joe's side on this. He saw it way better than us. He was there. He could hear the sounds. He can hear like whatever. But I can tell you one thing. Felicia surprised a lot of people. She lost, but she lost well. If you're going to lose, look good. Sure. And she did.
She looked good in the loss. She looked all right.
She looked awesome. What do you mean,
However,
right?
That's not the issue at hand. That's not why Cyborg wants an apology. Cyborg wants an apology from Joe Rogan for saying on his show that he believed that she may have a penis.
What?
Yeah.
Well, but that's from 5 years ago.
Yes.
I mean, so did everybody else think that, too.
Cyborg still wants an apology from Dana White for saying that she looked like Wanderlei Silva in a dress. Now,
I met Wanderlei.
These comments, AJ, behave yourself or Cyborg will come here and smash you to
smash me.
Pieces.
Big time.
Yeah. So be nice, okay? Be nice to Cyborg. Cyborg, I'm on your side always.
I am too.
I think I picked Felicia Spencer to win last week. I said Cyborg was maybe done after Nunez.
I took Cyborg. So listen, Cyborg can say what she wants,
I've
but
always
I was
been
on your
side. I've always been on your side.
Except for that fight.
Whatever. I've never said rude things like AJ's saying.
I didn't say anything rude, man. I'm just calling it as it was. I didn't say Rogan brought up.
You're agreeing with Dana White, who said Cyborg looked like Wanderlei Silva in a dress.
Man, I'm just saying, like, the public polls were saying that at the time.
There's no public polls. It's just Dana White making a rude joke about Cyborg and the way that she looks. Now,
I think she's a really good-looking woman. I mean, hey. But that's AJ.
I wouldn't have gone there either way, on either side of that one, AJ. But you went there because that's Hollywood AJ. That's why we love him. Hanging with Keitel made him a little bit, looser, a little loosey-goosey, AJ.
He's so cool, that Keitel.
That's
man.
right.
I want to be Keitel
buddy.
when I'm older. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I want to wear the shades. I want to have hair. I want to look like him. Go ahead, Dave.
So AJ,
tell me.
So Cyborg is mad at these comments, but Dana White made those comments like 5 years ago, and she signed to the UFC after he made the comments.
So what's her problem?
Why does she want the apology now? I don't understand.
I know why.
And this is all part of her not having a contract with the UFC anymore, and this is also how she wants the Amanda Nunes fight next. I don't know what this is. I guess it's part of her negotiation.
They're not very good.
But I've never seen a fighter want an apology from the promoter for statements that he made prior to the last contract that she signed to then enter into the negotiations into this new contract. It doesn't make a lot of sense for Cyborg to be doing this, to be wanting this apology now. I don't fault her for wanting the apology. If somebody said, oh, AJ looks like Paige Van Zandt in men's clothes.
What? I thought you were going to say Brad Pitt at least.
No, I mean, because, Paige Van Zandt is like a very ladylike, right? And Wanderlei Silva is kind of a manly dude. For a female, cisgender, heterosexual like Chris Cyborg is, I think it would be offensive for her to be compared to a Wanderlei Silva type because, it's not an attractive look. But
he's a handsome man.
For you as a cisgender heterosexual,
say what?
Manly virile male, I think it would be offensive to you to be compared to little 115-pound cute Paige Van Zandt, saying you look like Paige Van Zandt in men's clothing. Maybe it's not offensive. Maybe you take it as a compliment because she's a very attractive lady.
As long as I don't wear a mankini, I'm
just trying to make the comparison here, AJ.
Sounds scary, man.
Help me out, all right?
You know what?
Help me out. I'm drowning here.
Listen to
Throw me a life raft,
I
buddy.
met Wanderlei Silva. Actually, I got put in the clinch by Wanderlei Silva. He's a handsome man. Let me tell you, he's a handsome man. Look.
So being called Wanderlei Silva in a dress if you're a lady is like totally cool and not offensive?
Listen, he's not a bad-looking guy. What do you want me to say?
All right.
And he's a very nice guy, too. I'll tell you. Very, very wise guy.
How did he smell?
He smelled great. Like Aqua Velva, I'm telling you.
Yeah?
That's what I think he was wearing when he was giving me that clinch. Boom.
Yeah, because Vanderlei gets in close, you're going to smell him. And I know that you're remembering how he smells.
I just remember saying, I can't believe I'm in Vanderlei's clinch. And he's showing me how to like execute a good knee. And I'm like, this is Vanderlei Silva. If I get knocked out, this will be awesome. But he smells good.
I can't believe I'm touching Vanderlei.
You know what? He's an awesome guy. There's a picture of me. Didn't you see that picture?
I think you have a bit of a crush.
Listen, man.
Should Dana White apologize to Cyborg?
Never. Why?
Why not?
Because it doesn't make sense.
I think it's rude to say.
Well, look. First of all,
I apologize to Paige Van Zandt for comparing her to Hollywood AJ.
All right. It's okay. Listen to this.
He should never apologize.
No, he shouldn't apologize. First of all,
he called her Vanderlei in a dress.
But that was 5 years ago.
So? He never apologized.
Look at the things that we
it.
said 5 years ago that we can't take back. It's on air.
I mean, I
apologized a lot of times.
You should probably apologize for things you said 5 days ago.
Or maybe 5 minutes ago. But anyways, what it comes down to is this. Cyborg has a history of like negotiating without like a real business individual there to negotiate for her. She comes out and says
is
things
Tito Ortiz still her manager?
I don't think so, because if it was,
I think
Tito
he is. No, I think he is.
You think so?
Wasn't Jason Perillo in her corner? He was,
too,
right?
Yeah.
And that's Tito's guy.
Well, listen to this.
I think Tito's still running her
well, I don't know what Tito's telling her, but
deal.
Listen, Tito didn't do well when Cyborg had a chance way back to get that fight with Ronda Rousey. That pretty much would have stamped her as
when?
Way back. She was offered an opportunity to come to the UFC to fight Ronda Rousey, and she refused.
At 135 pounds?
Listen, man.
She couldn't make 135.
She couldn't make it.
She almost died making 140.
I know,
what are you talking about?
But
How dare you disparage the good name of Chris Cyborg and say she was scared to fight Ronda Rousey?
I didn't say she was scared. She's not scared.
You're saying she turned it down.
She turned it down.
You're not explaining why she turned it down.
It was a 20-pound difference.
The contract didn't make sense. Okay, so if the UFC tells George St. Pierre, George, you could fight Conor McGregor at 145 pounds, are you going to say, oh, George turned the fight down? He had the opportunity, but he turned the fight down. No, you're going to say, well, the UFC offered George St. Pierre a fight at a weight that is impossible for him to make, and you should extend the same courtesy to Chris Cyborg.
Whoa.
She nearly died making 140 for no apparent reason, because the UFC never had a 140 division. They finally made the 145 division for her. She was never going to make 135. She turned the fight down with Ronda because Ronda didn't want to fight her at any weight other than 135.
Look.
Facts, AJ.
Listen, fact is this, that Cyborg would have never.
That would have been the
number one.
WWE.
That would have been the number one payout fight in Cyborg's career. Her other big payout, number 2, is obviously Amanda Nunes.
And
that's where she's got to go. And the rematch will be number. Actually, that'll be bigger than the first one. But the thing is that she will never, ever make as much money or be branded if she would have beat Rousey at that time. She would have beat Rousey. Maybe that would have changed the whole look of the MMA world for women, because Ronda Rousey brought the sport to a level that it was never seen before.
Sure.
Rousey was the queen and the king of women's MMA.
The man.
She was, she was the woman, man, and a tough one. And you know what? She brought it to a level. But the thing is that Cyborg lost an opportunity to make the most money she can ever make. And then she doesn't fight Amanda now. And apparently she's supposed to have another 6 fights on the contract negotiations with Dana White.
What do you mean?
Apparently Dana White wants to give her a new contract with 6 fights.
Okay,
who's she going to fight for 6 fights?
She has no contract right now.
But it's in negotiations. So
it doesn't matter. Anderson Silva signed a 10-fight deal when it seemed like Anderson Silva was done fighting.
But he's still there.
He's still there. He's still fighting.
Yeah, but
BJ Penn is still getting fights in the UFC.
Yeah, but that's a different story.
Which is ridiculous.
Well, BJ, yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, he's not ridiculous. He's a legendary fighter.
He hasn't won a fight in 10 years.
He hasn't won a fight in 10 years. You're absolutely right. His legendary status was 10 years ago.
How are the Athletic Commission sanctioning this nonsense?
Well, they're allowed to. It's up to the fighter. If the fighter thinks it's okay and the doctors think it's okay and
Back to Cyborg.
Cyborg. Let's go.
Do you think the UFC needs Cyborg right now.
Of course.
Because she's obviously playing hardball.
She's playing hardball all the time, Dave. That's the thing. Because do you think
they need her right now? Because I don't think that there is a bigger, better fight for Amanda Nunes other than Chris Cyborg. The rematch is the biggest fight out there for Amanda. The only other fight out there that makes sense is against Germaine Durand because Germaine just beat Holly Holm, right?
Yeah.
So that fight makes sense, but I don't know if the UFC wants to go there, given Germaine Durand was a 145-pound champion, then she gave it up, and who knows if she even wants to fight Amanda Nunes for the 135-pound title. I think the best-case scenario is Amanda versus Cyborg, but the UFC is going to have to roll out some money and maybe some apologies if they want Cyborg back. And I know that Bellator is going to extend a major offer to get Cyborg over there.
Yeah.
So, the UFC is in a real tough spot here with Cyborg. She knows she's in an advantageous position, but in 2019, fighters in advantageous positions don't always get what they want. Sometimes they're iced out. The UFC sometimes says, forget it. We're either going to not offer you a fight or offer you fights that are ridiculous and keep you under contract forever and make you retire, like George St. Pierre or Brock Lesnar, right? Or Conor McGregor, right? Or the UFC just won't sign you, right? And that's probably what's going to happen. I would bet, if I had to put money on it, that Cyborg doesn't fight again in the UFC, that she gets signed by Bellator, that she goes there and fights the remainder of her career there.
Yeah, but
Cyborg UFC relationship was never good, and right now they're playing hardball with the UFC because they know they're in a good spot. There's no other big fight for Amanda right now in either division, which says a lot about women's MMA at 145 and 135.
And what you going to do in Bellator, Dave? Let's be honest.
Who cares? She can be a star on a card where you watch Cyborg.
Listen,
Cyborg survived in MMA for many, many years just being the Cyborg show.
Right.
She was in Elite XC. She was in Strike Force. She was in all these different promotions, and all it was you were tuning in to watch Cyborg beat somebody up. And you know what, AJ? It worked. It worked. It worked just as well.
To an MMA fan base,
just as well as it worked in the UFC.
To the general public, like people that know McGregor that don't even watch like MMA at all, you can't be branded better than being in the UFC, and that's a given. Bellator for sure is like secondary to the UFC, huge. But the thing is that the Cyborg have enough to be Cyborg if she goes to Bellator. Who's she going to fight? Are people going to forget her? That's why, like I always say, Rory McDonald has to come back to the UFC at some point. And I said that in the past. I love Bellator fights, but your brand, the UFC brand, is your moneymaker. If Cyborg fights 6 more times or at least 1 more time against Amanda Nunes, it will pay her enough to retire at some point.
What? Are you kidding me? That's not true, AJ.
Sure it is.
We know that they're not rolling out that kind of money for women's MMA. They're not rolling out that kind of money. She's not going to get retirement Conor McGregor type money for a fight against Amanda Nunes. What she might get is another knockout on her record, and it might mean, the end of Cyborg as this top level main event fighter who's going to be fighting for titles. If she loses to Amanda again, it might be near the end of the road for Cyborg. Whereas if she goes to Bellator, she can go there, she can dominate. It could be the Cyborg show. She could be one of the stars on the Bellator roster.
But it's not enough, Dave.
She can make a comfortable living, and she could,
But it's a step down, man. And that's the thing. You're at a point right now where you need to take everything you can and still be Cyborg. That is known in the UFC. She has that one fight that she needs to do with Amanda. And the thing is that she did not. That's the thing with Dana White. Dana White says that she was afraid to fight Amanda. Cyborg was insulted and would never back down from anybody, which I agree. Cyborg will fight anyone. The thing is that you will not be able to generate that amount of visibility, branding, and money that comes with it without being in the UFC. And you need to have that name to follow it. Everybody knows Amanda Nunes. Who is she going to fight in Bellator right now to generate that? Come on, Dave. Maybe down the road. You know what? And remember, Bellator has gone way up. Bellator is a great organization to be in.
No, I understand what you're saying, and maybe the opponents aren't there in Bellator. nevertheless, the money is there, and I think it's going to be similar money in Bellator than it is in the UFC. I think it would be similar for Cyborg, a payday in Bellator compared to what she'd make in the UFC. Maybe not for the Nunes fight, but I think every other fight other than that. And if Cyborg does sign a 6-fight contract, well, she'll make big money against Amanda, and maybe if she wins, they can do a third Amanda fight, like a rubber match, right? They'd be 1-1 if Cyborg can get a victory, but other than that, I don't think there are fights in the UFC that are paying her that much more. Like, who is Felicia Spencer?
She's awesome.
Yeah, okay, she's awesome. She's really good, but is she really a bigger name than any of the women that they have for Bellator at 145 pounds? I don't know who they really have.
Well, right now, people know Felicia Spencer because of the UFC fight with Cyborg.
Because she fought
see what I'm saying? That's what the branding is all about.
This week, they know Felicia Spencer. Next week, they'll forget her name. I almost forgot her name already.
No, you didn't. You remember. She's from Montreal. She was born in Montreal. Listen to this. Listen to me, Cyborg. If you're listening, I know you listen to the show. Listen to me very clearly. Forget about Tito. Forget about Ortiz.
Cyborg actually did a little bit of a promotion for our show on her Twitter. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was way back.
That was Wally, our boy in Ireland.
Wally.
Shout out to Wally. We love you, Big Wall.
Irish. Listen, Wally, you got to get back here.
He sent her a message promoting Ringside Report and all that we do. And then Cyborg retweeted that promotional tweet from Wally. So thank you, Cyborg.
Love you, Cyborg.
Thank you, Wally.
Thank you, Wally. Now listen to me. Get back to what I was trying to say. Forget about Tito. Hear me out. Hear me out.
It's hard to forget about Tito.
Forget about Tito. He wasn't even there at the UFC, like ringside, so that doesn't count. Or is he not allowed to go there anymore? I'm not sure.
He might be banned.
Yeah, he might be banned. Sorry, Tito. But listen to me, Cyborg. What you're going to do is this. You're going to take that contract from Dana White. He's not going to apologize. Don't worry about it. It's all cool. Take the fight with Amanda. Maybe another fight just to, like, you know, just to buffer your retirement. And then you take all that money, and then you go join Ronda Rousey at the WWE as her tag team partner, and your life is made. Imagine Cyborg in WWE.
Yeah.
She would be amazing. Who would be able to beat her? Not even Rousey.
Well,
think about it.
Obviously,
hear me out.
The Queen Charlotte Flair would be.
Nah, no way, man. Charlotte is
Flair's
going down.
Gonna beat Trish Stratus at SummerSlam.
You think she's gonna beat Cyborg? If Cyborg steps in there, it's gonna be a different bells and whistles. In fact, Cyborg, I could see her fighting even some guys in there.
AJ, I've got one word for you.
I'm a genius.
That'll settle all of this.
I'm a
Cyborg
genius.
versus Charlotte. Okay.
What?
One word.
I'm right.
Woo!
All right. Well, listen to this.
Argument solved.
No, but wait a sec.
Victory.
But wait a sec. What if it does happen?
I can see Cyborg in the WWE. She's
That's
been
what I'm
flirting
saying.
with that. I think Cyborg going to the WWE would be real smart. She should do it now.
No, you do it after the Amanda fight.
Nope.
Yes.
You do it now and drive your price up when you go back to the UFC.
Yeah, but how many years? We've been waiting for Brock Lesnar to do that again.
Go to
and
the
it's not
WWE for a year like Ronda did. And then
yeah, but Ronda's never come back. That's the problem. Can Ronda actually come back?
She's trying to get pregnant.
What? By who?
Her husband, former UFC heavyweight Travis Brown.
Jeez, Travis is a good guy. Not a great career in the UFC, but you know
he
what?
had a good career in the UFC.
Right.
Better than your UFC career.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. But listen, imagine their baby. Wow, that would be awesome.
Imagine you in the UFC.
You'd be like 6'5".
Yeah, Ronda and Travis Brown having a kid. Watch out. Don't fight that kid.
That kid's going to be awesome.
My goodness.
Well, their whole family, Rousey's family. I mean,
her mom
wasn't
and everything.
Jean LaBelle like her cousin or something like that?
She was like a family. He was a family friend.
Jean LaBelle.
Judo Jean LaBelle. Legendary.
Legendary. That apparently
choked out Steven Seagal.
Listen, if you don't believe us.
Also taught a lot of things to Rowdy Roddy Piper.
That's
a legend in professional wrestling and in stunt work and in shoot fighting. A good friend of Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Speaking of MMA and pro wrestling,
what?
Do you know who's making his professional wrestling debut this weekend?
Yes, sir. And that's what I'm saying. They're all going to end up there.
Who?
Cain Velasquez.
I'm glad that you're on that. You're not usually on the wrestling
I am,
news.
But you know why? Because we've been talking about...
Where is he wrestling?
I don't know. I think he's wrestling somewhere in Mexico. Where's
Mexico, yes.
So the thing is this,
AAA's big event, it's like the WrestleMania. It's called Triple Mania.
They must have a lot of fans there because Lucha Libre in Mexico, man, is heavy duty.
Massive.
Mexico. Shout out to Mexico.
Shout out to Mexico. Shout out to Triple Mania, which this year will be Triple Mania 27.
Wow. How many fans do they get?
Taking place on Saturday. I don't know, but it's going to be at the Arena Ciudad de Mexico.
Check how many people.
And Cain Velasquez, former UFC heavyweight champion, will be making his pro wrestling debut, teaming with Psycho Clown Cody Rhodes from AEW.
Wow.
And the son of Dusty, taking on Los Mercenarios, who are Tejano Jr. Taurus and a mystery opponent.
Los Lobos. That sounds great.
Who could the mystery opponent be for Cain Velasquez?
It's
Junior Dos Santos? Dios mío.
Madre de Dios.
Also, the Laredo Kid and the Lucha Brothers taking on the Elite. The Elite. Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, which is pretty exciting if you're a pro wrestling fan.
How many fans does that stadium hold? I'm sure it's going to be packed.
Arena Ciudad de Mexico has a maximum capacity of 22,300 spectators.
Well, that's not bad. I thought it would be bigger, but hey.
It's still a pretty big show for Cain Velasquez in his debut in professional wrestling.
And you know what? It's been about a year and something that Cain Velasquez was talking about it and wanting to get into the WWE and all that kind of stuff. Eventually, he's on his way. He's coming, and there's going to be a lot more fighters from the UFC going there. That'll be like almost like saying the retirement years will be at the WWE, and I think it's a perfect marriage. I mean, there's a lot of support from the WWE world with the UFC. There's a lot of exchanges and whatnot. I think it's fantastic.
I think it's easier done when you retire from MMA in your early 30s like Ronda did, so you're still in your athletic prime and you can learn professional wrestling. If you start to retire in your mid to late 30s and then try to take on professional wrestling, it might not work out.
I thought, you know what, who would have been great in WWE if he didn't stay long would have been Randy Couture. I think Randy Couture would have been an awesome guy.
He was never there.
No, but I know he wasn't there. But if he would have thought about going to that path, and
he would have been way too old.
No, I know, man. That's what I was trying to say.
Way too old.
Well, he did start his career late. I think he started his MMA career at 35. Well?
Brock Lesnar. He's done really well. You know, he's the champion again.
The Brock.
My goodness.
So let me AJ, hear you out. Let me hear out.
What?
Do you think Cain Velasquez is done with the UFC now?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with yes. Yes. I think he's
That's
done.
It. I guess it's done. Dave says it's done.
I think he's done with the UFC. I think I want him to be done with the UFC. I think he's done everything there is to do, and if he really wants to be a professional wrestler, he needs to stop being a professional mixed martial artist. He needs to quit MMA. He needs to focus fully on wrestling because he's one of these guys. Like, he's in his mid-30s, right? So he has said that he wants to be a black belt in professional wrestling.
Wow.
He's 37 years of age. So if he really wants to be good at pro wrestling and he wants to make it in pro wrestling, which I think he could, he needs to focus on it 100%. So I think for the good of Cain Velasquez, pro wrestler, he's done with the UFC. He's retired from MMA. Maybe he'll take a big money fight down the road against Brock Lesnar in 2 or 3 years, you know? But
in Bellator, maybe?
I think we'll likely see Cain versus Brock in the WWE before we see it in the UFC ever again. And I think Cain Velasquez could be in the WWE. He's going to wrestle in AAA. I could see Cain going to All Elite Wrestling. You know, he's teaming up with Cody Rhodes, who's one of the executive vice presidents of that company. I could see Cody scouting him and signing him right away on the night. I could see Cain making a name for himself in any number of wrestling promotions and being a big star.
You know what? If Dave Simon says it, I believe it. Because when Dave says things, they happen. Just like George St. Pierre, you posed him that question. It went around the world. They made cartoons out of your question. I saw it. And everyone said, George is retired. Till Dave Simon came.
Dave said, no.
No. Dave posed that question. And you gotta make people listen to that question that you posed.
You made it so famous. You build it up so much.
I did, man. And they made a cartoon out of it, which was incredible. But they did.
You got to send me that cartoon.
I did send it to you.
I got to see it again.
Nobody listens to me.
You send me too many links. You spam me.
What do you? Well, okay, maybe I do. Apparently, I do. 10, 15 links every hour. That's not so bad. But listen to this. Dave Simon posed the question to George, "Are you really retired?" And George pretty much said, Not really.
Yeah, if they give me the right offer, it's a business. I'll take the offer.
So
that's
if
basically what he said, right?
And you're right, Dave. And if Dave says Kane is not coming back, chances are I'm on Dave's side. Not always, but I'm on Dave's side on this one.
I predict these things, just like Mystic Mac, Conor McGregor. Will we see Conor McGregor fight in 2019? Time is starting to run out. We will talk about Conor McGregor and somebody talking about fighting him again in the UFC. Is this going to happen? Can we expect a big Conor fight in 2019? That would be fun. We're going to get to that. We'll also preview Colby Covington and Robbie Lawler. Is Donald Trump, president of the USA, going to be at the UFC fights this Saturday afternoon?
Making the UFC great again.
We will tell you about that when we come back. Stay with us. And we are back. Welcome back.
Fast.
It is Ringside Report. We are here. We are on YouTube. We are on TSN 690. You can go to our YouTube channel. You can subscribe. YouTube.com/ringsidereport.net. YouTube.com/ringsidereport.net. AJ, Fred, and I go live every Thursday at 8 p.m. for Ringside Report Live. We're also on Friday nights on TSN 690. Johnny North and I do the whole Wrestling Uncensored thing. You can watch that show on the YouTube channel. You can listen to it on TSN 690. Dave and Johnny Live and a YouTube channel exclusive. And, of course, we did the whole UFC 240 watch-along thing, which was a lot of fun this past Saturday. 3+ hours on the YouTube channel watching us watch the UFC pay-per-view. We're watching it with a lot of you. It was a lot of fun to get the feedback, talk to you guys. It was a party. It was date night with Ringside Report, and we decided to do that. I decided to do it as a little bit of a bonus. We're going on vacation for the next couple of weeks. We'll be back on August the 22nd and 23rd for more Ringside Report. But we're taking a break for a couple weeks, so I wanted to give the Ringside Report universe a little gift, a little bonus before I went away. So you got that bonus in the form of the UFC 240 date night watch-along. Watch it on the YouTube channel if you missed it.
It was awesome, Dave, and that's the beautiful thing. If you're bored, if you're on a plane going to whatever, Tahiti or Australia, and you need some hours to kill, listen to that episode because some people have rewatched it because it was really good. It was funny. It was exciting, and it was a watch along. Again, we always tell people we're not actually showing the UFC because some people came on and kind of upset in the early days, and then they realized it's a watch along. We're there watching it with you.
Yeah,
we're
people were mad. People were mad because our YouTube feed wasn't actually showing the UFC pay-per-view, which would have been highly illegal and would have got us booted off YouTube immediately.
But maybe we should have chose different words.
Some people didn't understand that, but it's a watch-along. You get to watch us watch the UFC.
Yeah, but I think the first one that you did wasn't. I don't think you put watch-along in there. I don't think the word watch-along was there. Was it?
Yeah. It's always watch. It always says watch-along.
All right.
Get it straight, AJ.
I know, man.
So we were there. We were watching. It was a lot of fun, and we'll do another one for UFC 242.
242.
I'm going to call it 242. It'll be September 7th in Abu Dhabi.
Ooh. Look, I'm sporting the shirt right here just so you can see. Abu Dhabi.
He's wearing his Abu Dhabi shirt if you're just listening to the show and you're not watching it. You can watch the show on our YouTube channel, as always. It'll be Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Dustin Poirier. You will get to watch us watch Khabib and Dustin Poirier. Fred will be here. AJ will be here. We'll have a UFC 242 watch-along September 7th. So get ready. The countdown is on for the next big Ringside Report party.
Yeah, but wait a sec. This is going to be a little bit messed up here because it's in Abu Dhabi.
Time zone.
Time zone. Are we going to be having breakfast here? What's the deal, Dave? What's the deal? Seriously.
Well,
I got to prepare myself.
Are we going to have a breakfast party?
Hollywood AJ needs to get ready. Hair, makeup.
Main card on pay-per-view.
Fingernails.
Oh, wow. It is an afternoon card.
Oh, we have a barbecue. It's even better.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
We'll do a barbecue all-day party.
Oh, it's going to be wild.
On September 7th. The prelim card starts at 10:15 in the morning.
So we're going to have to watch it. I'll have breakfast. I told you.
Yeah, we're going to have breakfast and coffee. Then the prelim card starts at noon. And then the pay-per-view that Khabib will be on and headlining will start at 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
It's going to be wild, man.
So it'll be an all-day event, and at 2 p.m. Eastern, we will go live on YouTube and watch Khabib and Dustin Poirier.
It's going to be awesome.
That's going to be crazy.
But listen, we got to get the whole crew here.
I can't wait for this.
We need the whole crew. We need Muscles Marco. We need Johnny North. We need Paul.
Can we fit everybody in the studio?
For Fred? For sure,
well, no,
man.
Fred's got to be here, too.
Of course Fred's going to be here.
Wow.
Dave Simon, Ben. And then we might as well get, like, I don't know.
Let's get Zev Simon, because it won't be past his bedtime.
Zev will be in the house.
He might make a cameo.
Maybe your dad.
Wow.
Get your dad here.
Maybe.
Get everybody.
Who knows?
Maybe we'll get some of our family. Maybe Wally will be here.
Uncle Benny?
My Uncle Benny. Man, he's going to bring the wine. Oh, by the way, he has a new batch coming out in September.
I thought you were going to bring me a bottle tonight.
Oh, damn.
I was going to take some on vacation. Thanks a lot, AJ.
Damn, I forgot Uncle Benny's wine.
All right, so that's coming up in September. A lot of fun stuff on the Ringside Report Network to look forward to coming up in late August, early September. I'm very excited. We have a lot of things coming, things that you don't even know about.
What?
Big changes
AJ don't
to
know.
The way, a lot of things to the show that we're going to be adding, a lot of new features, a lot of things as far as the YouTube channel.
Am I still part of the show?
The studio? No, you're always part of the show, AJ. You're Hollywood AJ. We need you on the show, right?
Yeah, man. Who's going to get Keitel to watch the show?
But we have a lot of things in the works, and you're going to be seeing the rollout for that when we come back from vacation. So when we come back after 2 weeks, it's going to be kind of a revamp. How about that?
Awesome, man.
It's exciting.
I'm excited.
I'm very hyped for everything we have going on. I'm also hyped for this Saturday afternoon. It'll be UFC Newark. Now, Colby Covington went to the Oval Office. He went to the White House. He met with Donald Trump a few months ago when he won the UFC Interim Welterweight Championship. Right? He met with Trump. Trump wears the Make America Great Again hat,
the MAGA hat,
all the time. And now he's fighting Robbie Lawler. And he is saying that Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump,
plus one of the girlfriends of those
Trump
two guys.
sons, and one of the girlfriends.
Yeah, I don't know which one.
Oh, yes, she was like a Fox News lady, a Donald Trump Jr.'s new girlfriend, Kimberly Guilfoyle.
That's it. How do you remember all this stuff,
I know
Dave?
a lot of things.
Wow.
I know who she is.
Impressive.
So she's going to be at the fights, apparently, which is crazy. And how amazing would it be if the president actually showed up? There were rumors that the president of the United States was going to be at this UFC show on Saturday afternoon in Newark, New Jersey.
Listen, man, he's from there. He's not too far from there. The Trump Plaza or his casino? The Trump Casino is in New Jersey.
The Trump Towers and everything, whatever.
I mean, you know what? If anybody would pull it off, Trump would end up being there. His kids are going to be there. So imagine the security that's going to be there on Saturday.
It's going to be crazy security.
It's going to be crazy, man. But it's incredible how Colby was able to do this. I mean, it's
the one time I wish Khabib was there so he could jump the fence and do something crazy.
Well, you know what? You never know.
Khabib and Trump are probably, in cahoots for some way, right?
I don't know. Dave.
Trump and Russians. You know what I mean?
Woo. Listen, man.
No collusion.
Yeah.
No collusion.
I love Russia.
We all love Russia.
Yeah.
And the United States.
Fedor. How can you go wrong with Fedor?
We don't have an official opinion on Donald Trump either way, right? We don't want to offend anybody.
We don't want to get sued,
on
number one.
either side, because I know there are some people that like him, and there are some people that don't like him. I feel like more people don't like him than like him.
I don't know, man. Don't say that,
But
Dave.
a lot of people don't like him. So
well, listen.
A lot of people do like him. I think Johnny North likes him. So
Johnny. Talk about Johnny.
No, let's not.
No, okay, because I think he's in I think he's in some movie or something. He's hiding from us.
He's playing a Nazi in a movie.
That's what I thought, man.
Yeah.
What's up with that? We were talking about Trump and all this kind of stuff.
Johnny North is playing a lucha libre Nazi. He's like a masked lucha-style wrestler with a Nazi gimmick. He's playing this in some sort of movie that he's in.
Thanks to Hollywood AJ.
Yeah, now it's Hollywood Johnny. Hollywood Johnny is in a movie where he's playing a lucha Nazi.
I think it's great because everyone thought we were homeless at one point, me and Johnny, and now, look, boom.
You guys
never
have
know.
gone Hollywood.
Yeah, we didn't start a GoFundMe page or anything like that, but it could be interesting.
All right, Colby Covington, Robbie Lawler. We haven't seen Colby Covington in quite a while.
2 years.
He looked good. It was a year ago, June of 2018.
I thought it was earlier, 2017.
No, he beat Rafael Dos Anjos.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
June of 2018. But it's still been quite a while since his last fight. Meanwhile, Robbie Lawler had a fight with Rafael Dos Anjos in 2017 that he lost by decision, and then he followed that up with his last fight in March of this year, where he lost by submission to Ben Askren in that controversial fight.
You say it's
Bulldog
controversial.
choke.
You know, we had a big show all about that. We reenacted
some people
it.
think it's an early stoppage. Some people thought it was a good stoppage. I'm not really sure. I think it was a bad stoppage.
I was on the other side. I think it was a great stoppage. It could have been a very serious neck injury. I think the ref did well. You know, Lawler was sleeping. He you know, it's like any jiu-jitsu guy. You don't realize you've gone out. And a lot of times it's hard to swallow that you went out. You think you're not. It happened to me. I'm like, I wasn't out, but I was snoring. It happens, man.
Yeah.
It happens. It was a good stoppage.
Okay. Either way, they're fighting. It's Robbie versus Colby coming up Saturday. The odds makers have Colby as a favorite, -235. Robbie +195, the underdog. Colby Covington is good. Love him or hate him, Colby Covington is a very solid MMA fighter with a 14-1 record. Only one loss in the UFC. That was to Warlley Alves. Since then, he has won 6 in a row, including wins over Damian Maia and Rafael Dos Anjos.
Look, he brings on the heat. There's no doubt about it. I mean, these guys were former ATT teammates. Robbie is with another team. I forgot which team he's at, but
I thought he's not an American top team anymore?
No, he left. He's at
somewhere else.
Somewhere else. I'll get it. But regardless, I mean, the thing with these two is that one thing that you've noticed is that Colby is not talking trash as much. Obviously, they're friends in some aspect. They were former teammates. There's respect between these two guys. Generally, if Colby is not liking the person, the heat would have been on. I mean, he's done some crazy things. I think you saw his public training. He brought in like 5 or 6 strippers to push the pace. Did you see that?
Yeah,
I didn't. That was.
Yeah, Colby brought some ladies there with him, and yeah, they look like they might be adult entertainers in some kind of way.
Well, it's New Jersey, right? Home of the Sopranos.
Home of the Bada Bing, right?
Bada Bing, Bada Boom.
So, yeah, they look like adult entertainers, and he had them with him, and it's part of his whole gimmick. Like, he hangs out with all the ladies, and he's a Make America Great Again guy. He's kind of a misogynistic, racist jerk. He says racist things, he says misogynistic things, and he comes off like kind of a dick. And I guess that works with the Trump base. I don't know. Trump is part of it as well. You know, Trump kind of says a lot of racist, misogynistic things, right? So I guess Colby is in line with his guy.
Look.
What, am I wrong?
Look, he's playing
Am I wrong, AJ?
No, but he's playing a shtick, and that's the thing. And you know what? Just before I go any further,
I'm sorry.
Lawler is fighting out of Hard Knocks 365 gym. So he left
did leave ATT.
And he's over at this other gym. But let me get back to what the difference is with Colby. Is that we said it in the past, there's so many fighters in the pool that Dana White could choose from. The thing that stands out the most nowadays is not being the greatest fighter, but being the greatest at marketing yourself. Conor McGregor has shown that. You know, George St. Pierre pretty much did it on his own with his persona that he portrays, and he's awesome. The Karate Kid look and everything. And here comes...
You need a gimmick.
You need a gimmick. And Colby Covington has become, like in wrestling, there's a hero and a zero. A lover and a hater. You know, the good guy and the villain.
They call it a baby face.
And the heel.
And a heel.
Yeah.
Colby Covington is an excellent heel.
He's an excellent heel. And you know what? He really plays with that. I mean, I've seen some quotes from his his teammates, some of them current, some former teammates and whatnot. And they only had good things to say about him. So, and listen, I'm not taking away his talent. He's a very talented fighter. So what he did is that he went the route of like a Chael Sonnen, in a sense, where he's the heel. And a lot of people love the heel. Like Johnny North is a heel, but we love him. But the thing is that Colby understands that to really become a more known fighter per se in the marketing value for the UFC, you need to have that shtick. And there's going to be a lot of other fighters doing that shtick along the way. You'll see them. There's everybody.
I don't know. Kobe takes it pretty far, and there's no one else that's been like Kobe.
Cejudo
no one else
it.
has embraced the Make America Great Again stuff. No one else is showing up with 3 or 4 adult entertainers to the thing. Like, it's a different kind of gimmick that Kobe Covington is doing. It is very different than what Chael Sonnen did or Conor McGregor did or what Henry Cejudo is trying to do or what any of these other guys with a gimmick, you know, is doing. And it's getting under the skin of a lot of people, right? So he upset Fabricio Verdum. Verdum threw a boomerang at him in Australia. Yeah. That legit happened. That wasn't a joke. He upset Kamaru Usman and Usman's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, so much that they attacked him in a buffet line at a casino in Las Vegas.
Well,
he upset Dana White. He interrupted Dana while he was gambling and legitimately had his camera, his cell phone on, filming Dana, asking him why he won't give him a title shot. And Dana's like, turn that thing off right away. Like, Kobe Covington, he does it a different way. He gets under people's skin, but I'm entertained by him. Like, I don't necessarily like what he does. I don't think he's bringing a positive element to the sport of mixed martial arts. And I'll say that, hey, if he got beat up, I wouldn't be mad at that. You know, if Robbie knocks him out, I think it would be kind of funny because a guy that talks so much trash like he does, a guy with that kind of persona, he's a heel. You kind of want to see the heel get beat up sometimes, right? It's part of the territory, and Robbie Lawler is such a great babyface. You know, how can you not like ruthless Robbie Lawler? He's like, I'm not going to, you know, take his breath. I'm not going for his neck. I'm going to take his soul. You know, the guy is just ruthless, but he's lovable at the same time. He's a veteran. He's a legend of the game. He's a former world champion. There's something very likable about Robbie. So I kind of want to see Robbie win. I'm not sure he'll be able to. Covington's strength has been his wrestling. He's been able to out-wrestle a lot of his opponents. I think he might struggle to out-wrestle Robbie Lawler. We haven't really seen Robbie dominated in a wrestling-type manner. Maybe ever? I mean, I guess I can't really remember. Maybe Tim Kennedy back in Strikeforce out-wrestled him a little bit, but you know, it's tough to ground and pound Robbie Lawler, especially over 5 rounds. It's not going to be easy for Kobe Covington to do this. Robbie, I think, is a better striker than Kobe. He definitely has more power, but Kobe's never been knocked out. His only loss in his career is by submission. I assume he could take a punch, but you never know until Robbie Lawler cracks one across your jaw, right?
Look, that's what Lawler likes to do. He likes to stand.
It's an interesting fight.
He has great jabs. He has great straights. I mean, this guy likes to stand, and he's not afraid of going to war. We saw that with Rory McDonald in the past. It was a war fight, enough that pretty much took Rory McDonald out of the UFC. The thing is that Lawler is 37 years old. He's coming really to the twilight of his career. You got Kobe Covington. He's 30 years old. He's hungry. He's a great wrestler. He's probably has some of the best takedowns in the game. He's not a submission wrestler like you would think. He's going to take you down. He might not be able to close you up, but once he gets that top mount, he is dangerous. And this is exactly the game plan for Kobe. He's going to take that top mount. He's going to put Lawler on his back, and it's going to be a ground and pound. Or it might be just a ruthless fight, Lawler's way, but
that'd be fun.
Yeah, but the thing is that Lawler has to get into the pocket, and then it becomes that danger of the takedown. So what's going to happen? It's going to either be like a total like stoppage, TKO stoppage with Covington taking the win, or it will go to decision. And again, I'm going Covington way. So, and I love Lawler. Lawler is one of my favorite fighters of all time. I love this guy. He comes out to fight, but again, he's fighting Covington. Covington has something to prove, and this is his time.
I'm going to go with Robbie.
Amen.
I'm going to go with Robbie. I'm going to go the other way.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with a Robbie knockout.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Robbie Lawler knocking out Kobe Covington, shocking him right in front of the Trumps, you know, knocking their boy out unconscious, and then licking the blood off of his hand and just kind of posing. That's what I think we'll see from Robbie Lawler.
I'd love to see that again.
I'm going with Robbie for the win.
Look, his last win was in like 2017 against Cowboy Cerrone. That's a strong victory. There's no joke. You're beating Cowboy Cerrone. It means you're a good fighter. But that's 2017. We're 2019. The Askren fight, in my opinion, was Robbie slowing down a bit. You know, and if he thinks the takedown of Askren is going to be like hard, like was
Robbie slowing down a bit. He almost knocked out Ben Askren. He looked great in that fight up until the Bulldog choke.
Look, the thing is, it's Askren.
What are you saying?
He couldn't knock out Askren.
Okay.
He couldn't knock out Askren, and he's coming up against Covington, who has a really good stand-up as well.
Rory McDonald.
And his kicks are devastating.
Who's a better fighter, Rory McDonald or Kobe Covington?
Well, obviously, Rory McDonald
What happened?
You know, that was...
Against Robbie.
Look, that was a hard time for Rory. There was things going on in his life. I believe a lot of things that wasn't Rory's best fight.
It was one of his best fights. Well, that fight was crazy.
It was a great fight.
He looked good.
It wasn't Rory at his best.
Okay.
Rory is one of those jewels that sort of, you know, we just lost him. I hope he comes back. There's still enough time for him to come back to the UFC and prove exactly who he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be the king of the UFC at some point. But listen, hey, anything's possible. But right now, as we speak, Covington is a beast. Covington, if he continues with his game, you know, he has not the best kicking game out there, but his kicking game is enough to keep Lawler at bay. He's gonna win by
kicking
points.
Game, really?
Yeah, he has like this, just a kicking game that he does, and that's what's gonna be. If he plays that game, kicks, drives him in, takes him to the ground, takes top mount, he's gonna win.
I like that analysis, AJ. Solid stuff.
Well,
solid stuff. I'm going the other way. I'm going to go with Robbie, but I'm not breaking it down like you are.
I wonder what Fred would go with. Fred, I think, would go with Lawler on this.
Yeah, why not?
You know.
Although, no, I think he'd go with Kobe because Fred's kind of a Make America Great Again guy, too.
Well, that's the thing. Fred's is a Trump fan.
Trump guy, yeah.
Fred is a Trump guy.
Little bit.
Little Trump over here. Little Trump. Little Fred over
little
here.
Fred, baby Fred.
Baby Fred.
Baby Fred. Jim Miller.
Is that Baby Shark?
Jim Miller taking on Clay Guida.
That'll be good.
In the co-main event. The odds makers right now have Guida as the underdog, plus 130, Miller minus 150, the favorite. When is the last time we saw Jim Miller? It was, let's see here, his last fight.
April 27th.
Oh, yeah, not that long
this year
ago.
Against Jason Gonzalez.
Against Jason Gonzalez, a first-round submission. Clay Guida's
rear
last
naked
fight
choke, yeah.
was that win over BJ Penn in May. Kind of a short turnaround for both guys, right?
Listen, man.
May, June, July, August, Guida's right back into it. And as for Miller, you know, April, May, June, July, August, he's right back into it.
These guys are fighters, man.
Not a long time away from the cage for either guy. And I like this fight. This is a fight between two veterans of the sport. I don't like when they put veterans up against these young guys for the young guys to eat them up and kind of spit them out, right? It's not really that fun when you see these veterans that you've been watching for so long get beat up by these younger guys who probably aren't really in their league. Like Jim Miller in his prime isn't losing to whoever, but Jim Miller in, you know, now probably does because he's not the same guy. He's in his late 30s and so on. And, you know, it's the same deal for Clay Guida. He's kind of a guy towards the end of his career.
He's a 7-7 fighter, right,
Dave? I'm surprised Miller's only 35 years old. I feel like the guy's been fighting in the UFC forever.
But that's
Clay
the thing.
Guida is 37. And I think the bigger surprise is that these guys have both been in the UFC for so long. Clay Guida has been in the UFC since 2006, and I think Miller's been in there for about the same amount of time, maybe a little less. Yeah, 2008 he made his UFC debut, and they've never fought. They've been two of the best 155-pounders in the UFC for a very long time, and Guida and Miller have never fought each other. So it's an interesting matchup, and I think more interesting is that these guys have never faced each other before. You would have thought at some point they would have.
Look,
good fight. Who do you got?
Look, Clay Guida is like an amazing fighter. Win or lose, this guy makes fights exciting. That's why he's still around. He loves to fight. The Carpenter actually was a Carpenter in the past. He started in 2006. When you look at it, Pride just finished in 2005. They had their last the Shockwave. Was it the Shockwave fight?
Right.
You're talking at that era when Clay Guida was starting. He was surrounded by like top level fighters, and he's still here. He's still fighting in this game. He's an exciting guy. He's going to bring it on. Jim Miller, I mean, this guy here, you know, he's a Division I wrestler. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. This guy, his last performance, he won Fight of the Night. Jim Miller is going to bring it on. Either or, whoever wins or loses, this fight is going to be an exciting co-main.
Yeah.
Who do I pick? It's hard. I want them both to win.
Odds makers like Miller. I'm going to go with Miller, too.
Look.
He's in his home state. He had, I think he had a better win in his last fight than Guida did. Guida fought BJ Penn, and BJ Penn's not winning against anybody.
Didn't look good. BJ didn't look good. And
I'm going to go with Jim Miller for the win, probably by decision.
Yeah. You know what? It's hard for me to pick this fight because I like them both, but Clay Guida always stands for me as like a guy who's going to bring it on.
Go with him.
Look, the only thing that's going to stop me from taking Clay is
he Italian?
Clay, of course, man.
Guida?
He's a carpenter. Yeah. Clay. I don't know where Clay comes from. I think it must be
Clayton Guida.
Or maybe, I don't know, some Italian
Who you
name.
picking, AJ?
This is hard, Dave. Why are you putting me on the spot?
Because that's the show. We make picks for fights. It's very easy. You're wrong most of the time, so it doesn't matter.
What? What are you talking about? AJ is right. Don't listen to that.
Flip a coin, dude. Just go with Guida. You know you want to pick him.
Guida it is.
Any other fight on this card that you care about? I cannot find one.
Nasrat?
Mickey Gall. Who? What?
Joaquim Silva versus Nasrat. Yeah, 11-1 Joaquim against Nasrat 10-2. That should be a good one.
Okay.
You've got like Joaquim, who's coming in, fighting out of Brazil. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's a black Kruang in Muay Thai. I mean, this guy, we don't know much about him, but this guy could be like one of those guys that might be a surprise for the future.
You have no idea.
Look, he's 4-1, Dave. You know what I mean? Let's give the guy UFC, a chance.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, but this isn't a big card. Like, the main event is really the main thing, the co-main event, and then the rest of the card is kind of like, who?
Yeah.
Who are these guys? Don't pretend to care, AJ. It's okay.
No, it's not that I don't... Look,
just be honest.
Look, it could turn out to be a good fight like last week when you were getting on Neil's back and it's like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? He's a nobody.
Whoa, why was that guy on pay-per-view? It didn't belong on pay-per-view.
I know, but it turned out to be a good fight. And the bottom line is, as long as it's as if it's going to be an exciting fight for everyone, that's all that counts.
Colby Covington not only will have the trumps in his corner, he will also have the music, the WWE theme song of Kurt Angle.
I heard about that.
Famous Olympian, and apparently he got Angle's permission to use the song. So Mr. USA there, Colby Covington going all America there with the Kurt Angle music, and that's coming up Saturday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern, main card start time for UFC Newark. And since we're not going to be here for a couple weeks, you want to give your quick pick for the next big UFC card, which will be UFC 241, Cormier versus Miocic. DC and Stipe. I'm going with DC. I think you are too, right? We've talked about it before.
And you know what? They're two great fighters. They're going to be two Hall of Fame fighters at some point. It's, DC is DC. The only way he needs to retire is by beating John Jones at some point, and then this guy is going to be cemented as the best fighter in UFC history.
If
he's a two-belt champion, and he's fighting Stipe, man. Stipe's a beast.
Yeah. We all love DC. We all know Stipe's great, but you think DC is going to beat Stipe. I said quickly give me your picks, AJ.
Really?
I didn't say go into a diatribe about how great Daniel Cormier is. We all get it. He's great. Anthony Pettis.
This is not Viagra time.
Anthony Pettis taking on Nate Diaz. I think Pettis is going to pull this one out. I think Diaz has been too inactive.
No.
Pettis has looked great recently.
He does. He looks great. A good supporter of our show as well.
He knocked out Wonder Boy in March.
That's impressive.
When's the last time Nate Diaz won a fight?
Maybe in a bar or something? I have no idea.
Conor McGregor in 2016.
Look, it's
Diaz.
Diaz.
Then he fought Conor McGregor again later that same year and lost and hasn't fought
but he fought
since
well.
August 2016. He fought well, but he fought well 3 years ago. I don't know what this version of Nate Diaz looks like. I'm going to give the edge to Anthony Pettis in this fight.
Look, Diaz is always a question mark on this guy's head. He's mysterious.
I can't wait. I love Nate Diaz. I'd bet at this point we're 2 weeks away that the fight doesn't even happen.
And that's what we were saying actually on Saturday's show. We need to see him at the weigh-ins.
No, I need to see him in the cage before I believe it happens.
As long as it's locked, we know that fight is happening. Once that cage locks and Diaz is inside, that fight is happening.
Until then, I don't buy it.
But you know what?
Either
if Diaz
way, who
shows
you picking?
I'm going with Diaz on this. Diaz comes out to fight This guy has been like a phenomenon since he was 17 years old, and I saw him fighting an adult and taking him out.
He's great.
He's an amazing fighter.
So you got Diaz.
He's always ready.
Diaz by?
Submission.
Okay. Ooh. Yoel Romero taking on Paulo Costa at UFC 241. That's another monster middleweight fight. I'm going with Paulo Costa. He seems unstoppable. The guy's 12-0. He's knocking everyone out. All his UFC wins have been by knockout. Yoel is big. Yoel is strong. Yoel is powerful. But Yoel's also 42 years of age.
Look,
coming off a decision loss to Robert Whittaker. I think Paulo Costa's time is now. I think Paulo beats Yoel, but I think that fight will be incredible if it lasts more than 2 minutes. I think it's going to be awesome if it lasts a little bit longer, but I could see Paulo Costa putting him away quick. Paulo Costa is a monster.
Look,
and
Dave,
that's saying something when he's facing fellow monster Yoel Romero.
That says a lot, but this is what bothers me the most about this fight. It was supposed to happen, I think, several times. I'm not worried about Diaz showing up to the fight. I'm worried about these two guys not making the fight because of some substance they might find. It's already happened. Hey, listen, Dave.
It's 3 weeks away. The drug tests are all right. We're good.
They still test
ready.
them, man, right up. So the thing is that anything can happen. As long as they don't get injured or whatever.
They've got 2 full weeks before this fight. Let's keep these fights together. We're 2 weeks away, and at this point, Nate Diaz and Anthony Pettis are still on the card. Paulo Costa and Yoel Romero are still on the card. Daniel Cormier, Stipe Miocic still on the card. So if everything holds together over the next 2 weeks, we're going to get a fantastic pay-per-view on August 17th that, unfortunately, I'll be on vacation for. I'll try to catch at a bar out there in Nova Scotia. I know they like fighting and drinking out there.
Oof,
so
tell me about it.
Hopefully, I'll find a spot while I'm there. AJ, just before we wrap up the show, speaking of bars, TMZ has pictures of Jon Jones in that strip club where the alleged incident happened. Jon Jones was there with his brother Chandler, and apparently they were right up against the stage, so it'd be very hard for Jon Jones to be grabbing and roughhousing and doing all the things that this lady, this cocktail waitress, is claiming happened. But that's not to say that Jon Jones stayed in that one spot the whole night. It's not to say that what she said did not happen, claiming he grabbed her inappropriately and did all sorts of stuff, and she pressed charges. So Jon Jones does have battery charges pending in the state of New Mexico in Albuquerque, and TMZ did release pictures this week that showed that Jon Jones was indeed in that strip club on the night in question.
Whoa. TMZ and Dave Simon owe me an apology because I'm going to tell you this.
Why?
Just like Cyborg wants it from Dana, I want it from you.
Why?
And from Fred, because now he's gone fishing. Because remember what I said? Actually, Fred was on my side on that one. So it's Dave Simon that owes me. I said that how is it possible that no one pulled out their camera and filmed whatever this incident was about? But they have a picture of him at the bar, but they don't have the incident. Hogwash. Something doesn't make sense. You didn't say the full story because she wanted some money.
Just because it wasn't filmed doesn't mean it didn't happen.
See, I knew it. There was somebody that was going to film it, but they didn't film the incident, which
if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, does it make a sound?
Well, maybe to the beavers. But the thing is this. That beaver wanted $100.
That's right. What's with that analogy? No one ever thinks of the animals. You think animals can't hear things?
Exactly.
Of course a tree makes a sound.
AJ is right. Listen to this, Dave. They had cameras there, but they didn't take any footage. TMZ has that picture. Let TMZ show the incident.
I am not sure that it happened, but I'm not convinced it didn't happen.
You know what?
It takes a lot for a woman to go to the police and charge a man with doing all these inappropriate things, and it's going to lead to criminal charges. This is not a civil suit she's bringing on Jon Jones. That she has nothing to gain financially from this.
Yeah, but Dave...
Obviously, if she files criminal charges, maybe then afterwards she could file a civil suit. I don't know if you could file the civil suit with the same degree of... I guess levity. I don't know, levity.
But Dave, explain the full story.
Same degree of weight. It doesn't mean as much. Like if I say, AJ, you punch me in the face, and I'm going to sue you for $100,000
in Walmart or like
no, it doesn't
McDonald's?
matter. You punch me in the face, I'm suing you for $100,000.
But it makes a difference.
But I didn't go to the police.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I'm suing you, the judge is going to say, well, okay, he punched you. Why didn't you go to the police? Why are you just looking for money? She went to the police. So then if she goes looking for money in a civil suit, she's got more credibility because there's a real police report filed. So I guess you can make the argument that there's still money in this maybe for her, and you never know. But this is a stretch. The facts are she went to the police. They pressed charges. John Jones was in that strip club on the night in question. He's not guilty, but I don't think you could say not guilty right away.
No, for sure. I mean, like, Wowo Le Cheval, again, you have that picture that he was there, but you don't have any video footage of the incident. And again, you have to explain the whole story. Apparently there was an incident, but that incident was based on this cocktail waitress, who was not a stripper, by the way, asking for money for Jones to slap her
in the genitals.
Exactly.
Yes.
I was trying to think of like a proper word. That's a proper word.
It's okay, AJ.
I was thinking like
we
NDG talk. We'd say other things.
Let's not talk about how we talk in NDG, okay?
No,
we got to wrap up this show, AJ. We
Dave,
are way over time.
Well, happy vacation, Dave.
I wanted to get to George Masvidal here. He's talking about fighting Conor McGregor. He wants to fight McGregor. Dana White said Conor seemed interested in the fight because when Dana said George Masvidal was way too big for him, Conor got mad. So maybe Conor wants to fight George Masvidal. I'm into it. I'd watch that fight.
For everybody's going to watch it. He's
at 170 or 155 pounds.
He's going to break the records again if he fights Conor. Connor's going to give him a proper 12. And I can tell you this. Conor is training. He's training like a beast.
Let's put that fight together in 2019.
All we got to do is say, listen, all we got to do is say it on Ringside Report, because every time we say a fight, it happens.
Make it happen, Dana White.
Exactly. You know what's going to happen. Conor knows it's going to happen. He needs to fight someone. This would be the perfect fight for him. This is the proper fight. 12.
All right. That's the show. We are
Dave, I wanted to wish you a happy vacation, man.
Thank you.
And
thank you.
I'll be on vacation as we speak.
Yeah, we're going on vacation for a couple of weeks.
And good job,
Ringside Report live on YouTube will return Thursday, August 22nd at 8 p.m. We'll be back in a couple of weeks for the live Thursday night YouTube show. Go to youtube.com/ringsidereport.net, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. Subscribe to the channel. You'll get everything. More info is on our website at ringsidereport.net. And then Ringside Report Radio will be back on TSN 690 on Friday, August 23rd. I will be back here, though, tomorrow on Ringside Report or Wrestling Uncensored, rather, with Johnny North. So if you're watching this or listening to this, you'll be able to catch Wrestling Uncensored this week, the last show before the Wrestling Uncensored vacation, too. Because when I go on vacation, Ringside Report and Wrestling Uncensored, they both go on vacation. That's how it works.
Okay, man, sounds good.
Listen,
let me give a shout-out first to Les Pompiers de Saint-Sever for putting out that fire.
That AJ witnessed and then called the firefighters.
Yeah, because I was watching
Great
the
story,
WXC fights happening on UFC Fight Pass, and I thought it was a barbecue, but it turned out not to be. So shout out to Les Pompiers. Good job.
Follow AJ, Hollywood AJ, at Dan E. Bruck. See pictures of him and his best buddy, Harvey Keitel.
Exactly. And
on his Instagram, on his Twitter, at Danny Bruck. You could follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dave Simon MMA. Go to our website, ringsidereport.net, for everything. YouTube,
Instagram,
Facebook. All the info is on our website, ringsidereport.net. And you can also follow Ringside Report at Ringside Report on Twitter and Instagram.
There's amazing stuff on those feeds. It's amazing.
There's stuff everywhere for everyone.
For everyone.
Wrestling fans,
kids,
MMA fans,
families,
kids, adults, you name it.
Strippers, lawyers, you name it, all of that above. John Jones,
we love
his
you
crew.
all. We love you all.
Everybody is one in the universe.
That's it. Freddie will be back with us when we're back. We're all on vacation. We'll see you on the other side of the Ringside Report summer vacation.
Ooh, it's going to be a lot to talk about.
For Hollywood, AJ, and Freddie Garcia, and Baby Fred, I am Dave Simon, and this has been Ringside
Report.